Good day and welcome to Gaming with the Colonel. Today we're going to look at Athens and Sparta by Columbia Games. Copyright 2007, rule version 1.4, designed by Tom Danglish. This is the only Peloponnesian war game that I have. And I know there's a few other out there, but I guess there's not a ton. I know there's the Mark Harmon Peloponnesian War. And I think one by Decision Games is out there, and a couple other ones. I've watched, in fact, I've just rewatched recently both the Discriminating Gamer Cody do his review, which is a few years older now, I guess, as well as more recently, just like 10 months ago, Gilbert Collins out of Ottawa there had did a revisit, is what he called it, of Athens and Sparta, and I would recommend you guys look at those. Two videos if you're interested in this game. I was interested in the game because I'm interested in history, and I know little about ancient Greek history. Although I've got a degree in history from Royal Military College out of Kingston. I didn't really study any ancient sort of stuff. I did Soviet military history, Russian history, Canadian military history. I did some Middle East, Japan, China, and that sort of thing. And I've got a master's in defense studies, but it was less about historical stuff and more about operational planning. So, like most of us who play games, I have an interest in all types of history, especially when it comes to significant events and battles that have shaped our history, and certainly the Peloponnesian Wars are that. And the little I know is just about how these two powers, Sparta and Athens, who had defeated the Persians, and if you watch that 300 movie, that's basically what they're talking about at the Battle of Thermopylae, and much more beyond that, obviously, but how they defeated the Persians, and then no sooner did they do that, they started fighting with each other. And what I understand, it's about some Athens aggression and Sparta being a little bit jealous, I think, of the power of Athens, which ultimately led to, I guess, the Spartans defeating the Athenians after they did two wars with a 30-year war or 30-year peace in between the two of them. That's kind of all I know about it, other than the Spartans being a warlike culture, a warrior culture rather, and Athens being a seaborne or a strong sea power, and maybe having more of a democratic form of government than the Spartans did. So it's kind of fascinating, that stuff that happened those thousands of years ago. And what I want to do is read Victor David Hansen's book, which Cody recommends. One of the books that he recommends to read. I think I'll probably get it audio and start listening to it. What I normally do with these games, if you're like me, I just, when I get a flavor of whatever game I'm playing, I start listening to podcasts and watching some historical content. I did that with Sam Grant and Bobby Lee and stuff like that when I was playing them. And I've done the same thing here with Athens and Sparta. So I'm going to make a series of videos probably over time while I'm playing this, and then I'm going to mash them together at some point here. But here we're at the opening. So you've got the Spartan blocks in red, and here's Sparta down here. And interesting enough, there is no, on the map here you can see you've got walled cities, major cities, minored walled cities, minored cities, and something called Oracle. Sparta was never walled because they said they didn't need it. That warrior culture, I guess. Whereas over here you got Athens, walled city. And so here is Greece, and then you've got the neighboring Athenian allies across the Aegean Sea. And then you've actually got this red line that sort of gives off Persia. And there's some neat rules about the Spartans aligning themselves with the Persians if they do a few things. And then it helps them out in a way about building ships, because they did not have a huge navy at the time. Other things on the map to note are Sicily over here, Mediterranean Sea, and Crete down here. So red being Sparta, blue being Athens, and then you've got green blocks, which are neutral countries, or neutral, not countries, neutral city-states, neutral, whatever. So you've got Argos, Larissae, Pella, There's a bunch more here, but Crete was what we already mentioned, and Syracuse over here in Sicily. And they have each group has a varying sort of power, and if one um, if Athens attacks one of them, then they immediately become allied with Sparta, and vice versa. You also have some cards that you can actually draw, and where you can roll to see if some of those neutrals become part of your allies. It is a card-driven game. There are, let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 7 turns. They're called Olympiads, and they represent like 6 years, because it was a long, protracted war. Uses a similar Columbia block system as always, in terms of A, B's, and C's. Hex sides in terms of what limits you can move the blocks into. There's sea movement, and there's sieges as well, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to start playing, and I'll probably come back from time to time and talk about some things, and we'll go from there. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we're back. I'm on Olympiad 85, so the third turn over here. Something kind of interesting. While I was playing this just yesterday, I happened to watch a YouTube video. I just turned on YouTube, and who had just posted like 5 videos of the same game, but GWG, Gaming with Garavaglia. Never even heard of him before, but I started watching this stuff while I was playing, which was kind of neat. And I even fired him a message saying that's what I was doing. He got a little bogged down with a rule there about hex stacking, about what the max was. And he's deleted all the videos because he figured he played it wrong. But and then he made a final video saying that, yeah, he figured out the rule. But yeah, it was... He was thinking that you could only have a maximum of 4 blocks in a hex. But then when he realized right in the rules there were examples of no... more than that were being in a hex, like 5 or 6, and the fact that Athens can have 6 blocks in a hex, that it was getting a little confusing. And really what it was each side can have 4 blocks in a hex. And the way I play it with Athens, I think I even messaged him with that, is that if you're attacking Athens, I say you can have 6. If you're the Spartans and the Athenians can have 6. It's got to be 4 ground and 2 ships, but that's how it will work for Athens. Anyways, it was kind of neat knowing that he had just finished playing his version and I was playing mine. So here we are on the second last Olympiad, and it was pretty balanced. I think the last score I had, it was like 21 Athena, 24 Sparta, Athenians to the Spartans. And what else has happened? The Athenians don't look like they got a lot going on. They seem to be pretty spread out, and the Spartans seem to be pretty thick there in the middle. I realize now too, when the Athenians took Syracuse, I actually probably could have taken this a little quicker, because I was only using ships. I didn't realize that I could have used troops. There was some special rule that for the invasion of Sicily, I guess they could use men and ships on that particular one. And the Spartans actually did take, what is it up here? Abydos. I was able to throw in a lot of ships over there and defeat the Athenians. So now they can make their ships at a cheaper cost because the Persians come in on their side. And you can see over here, I've actually I'm going to start moving through Persia and whatnot, whereas the Athenians have to stay on that other red line. So, still going good. Really, this is probably the most enjoyment I've had out of this game. I haven't played it like 3 times because I've really started to understand the rules a bit better now. I mean, just like I was saying with GWG there the other day, that where he was having that issue with stacking. There's been other rules that I've gone, I'm not sure what that is, but I think and like other people, like Players 8 or whatever, just play it anyways, even if you're playing it wrong, right? You're gonna get there. So I feel a lot more confident about this one, and certainly enjoy it. Just a very different game in terms of strategy and what's going to happen and what you're going to do next. Things can change pretty rapidly in this game, so fun game. Okay, I have finally finished Athens and Sparta. End result was The Spartans won with a total of 26 victory points, and the Athenians had 19. So I would just say thanks to GWD for his all his videos, because it really kind of helped a few things for me. But I this is a different type of game. It's I wouldn't say it's necessarily more involved, but it's a how would I say it? You know, if you look at the map and you see you've got forces in different locations, and then you've got neutrals, and then you've got sieges, and you've got um, you know, where you can build things, and if you don't have the city in your possession, you can't build things. It's there's a lot to think about. It's not a, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to work out that way. You have a strategy, but the strategy can be thrown for a loop there quite quickly. So it's fun. It gives you something different to do. I was actually able to do some things with the Spartans that I didn't think I was going to be able to do, and I got some lucky rolls for some neutrals. And I actually made a play for Athens at one point. Um, got pretty close. At one point, Athens was like there was like one block left there, and fortunately, the Athenians had the initiative and were able to move troops into there before I could actually make another play for it. So that was kind of interesting. So end result is you can see where the Spartans are on the map compared to the Athenians, who had a tough time building things. You can see at the end here there's a lot more Athenians that are in the dead pile, but um, anyways, it was still a pretty close game. It could have gone both ways. It really did come back down to the last year. So fun game. Uh, I enjoy it. I'm definitely going to play it again. I'll continue to play it throughout the years, and I would recommend it. Um, Next up for me could be Shiloh by Columbia Games, but what just came in the mail today was Normandy 44. So we'll see if I can get that on the table sooner rather than later. All right, take care, and thanks for watching.